am doing a water tutorial in Meine, Reise, Durch, Europa by Rita Berman. This is a requested video. If you do have any requested tutorials you'd like me to do, please let me know in the comments below, and I am happy to put them on my to-do list and get to those tutorials for you. Today I've chosen this boat page because it's got quite a bit of waves coming up and around the boat, and I can also illustrate some of those splashes for you, in which case we'll be using a Sakura jelly roll. So I'm going to be coloring in this water with Prismacolors, but I am going to also give you the Polychromos options as well. I am aware that there are some of you who prefer Polychromos to Prismacolors, in which case you would want to get out your Prussian Blue Polychromos 246, Helio Turquoise 155, Light Cobalt Turquoise 154, and you would work from your lightest to your darkest. So the same way that I'm going to color with the Prismacolors is pretty much how I would color with Polychromos. I've just chosen today to work with Prismas because I've done quite a bit of work with polys lately, and I'd like just to spice things up a bit. So my Prismacolor options are Cobalt Turquoise, PC105, Non-Photo Blue, PC919, and Denim Blue, PC914 and these are the closest match I have to the Polychromos options. So let's get started. I'm going to base everything with the non-photo blue just to get myself used to the page and what's going on, and to also get a sense of the direction of the waves and how Rita Berman has drawn these beautiful pictures. And I'm going to go in small round circles. And I'm using a medium to light pressure. At this stage, I'm just creating a base layer. If I go too hard, I'm going to put pigment into the tooth of the paper, and it may not be pigment that I want. Now, Rita Berman's style is quite a creative and playful style, so you can work on realism if you want, but if you prefer to just color them and use bright colors and make use of light and dark, then you don't have to worry too much about realism. And that's what I'm going for today. I'm not going for realistic waves, you know, what you would see in nature or in a painting. I'm just going to focus on using my 3 tones of color. I have a dark, a light, and a mid-tone, and I'm going to be focusing on varying the shades just to create a bit of character and depth to the water of this drawing. My expertise is not up there to be able to transform an illustration into what I see in nature. That's just not where I'm at right now. And sometimes I think it's fun to just be true to the illustration. So again, personal preference, depending on your skill set and where you're at and what you want to accomplish. I'm just showing you how I would do it, and we'll take it from there. I have found Rita Berman's books to be very enjoyable. I would say My Travel Through Europe, or Meine, Reise, Durch, Europa, is by far one of my favorite Rita Berman books. And I'm excited to get her second book in the series, My Travel Through Europe. And I think that that's going to be a very exciting book. So keep a lookout towards the end of the year or somewhere. She should be releasing that soon. If you don't know, check out Instagram. You can follow Rita Berman on Instagram and keep up with the updates. Okay, so there's a base layer of the non-photo blue. If you're using Polychromos, it would be your light Cobalt Turquoise. Next, I'm going to use the Cobalt Turquoise PC905, and I'm going to start building up. So in here, in these circles down here, let me bring you in a bit closer. So inside the circles here, you want to have a bit more deeper colors than as you're going out. And here is where we're going to vary our shades or our hues. So where you see it tucking in like here, this wave is going over and out. So inside here would be a bit darker. And underneath here is where we're going to have some darker shades over here and out. Underneath the fish, it's going to be darker. And then it will go lighter, darker in the circle. Over here. Over here, tucking in. it's a bit of a guesswork as well, where you want to put the dark areas. You just got to think, where is it going to be your lightest, where is it going to be your darkest. If you want a bit of sunlight reflection, you could use a cream or an ivory. So ivory in Polychromos or cream in Prismacolors, and you could use that to just illustrate some light reflecting off the water. Okay, now we're going to bring in the Denim Blue, and this is going to be in our darkest areas. Okay, so then we come back in with the non-photo blue and just lightly go over this all again. So this is about our fourth layer. Okay, I am going to bring out some cream because I do like the effect it has. So if you bring out some cream, and I'm only going to use this once, and then I will probably revert back to a white pencil. And all I'm doing is just changing things up a little bit here. Okay, go back to my non-photo. Continue building up my layers because I want to really make this a beautiful, rich ocean blue.
Right, this side I missed some of the denim blue, so I'm just going to put it in here.
Okay, some more of my cream, so here. Now when I look at the ocean, especially when you go out quite far out to sea, it doesn't have crystal clear blue. It has got more of this rich blue with a slight green tinge, and that's part of the reason why I like using the cream. It just blends in and creates that tinge of green in the water. Okay, so I'm coming back in with my Cobalt Turquoise, and I'm building up my pressure. At this point I have quite a lot of pigment laid down, and the Prismacolor is starting to have that buttery feel to it. So again, I'm just going over all my dark medium shades. And the key here is to make your darks dark and your lights light. So I'm not going to worry too much about where I've put my highlights and my lighter non-photo blue. I'm going to build up my shadows now, because this is where I'm going to create more of a 3D effect, and it's not going to look too flat. And as I layer, what I'm doing is using each layer and it's blending itself in. Now at this point you could take a blending pencil, which is what I will do very soon, and you could blend this out. But just whenever you think that you're done, I want to challenge you to go in and add another layer or two. Because the richer your color is, or the richer your pigments, and the more contrast you have between your lights and your darks, the more 3D effect and you give your picture, the more vibrancy you will get. And it will really bring your page out, as opposed to yeah, let me just put it this way. It makes your page pop. The richer the color is, the more your tonal values, it makes your page pop. And wherever you're at, whether you like a more pastel color or softer colors, I want to challenge you, where you can, in a way that is still comfortable but also a challenge. Add an extra layer. Whenever you think you're done, just add one more layer and see, does it make a difference? And how much of a difference does it make? Because I could call this done. I could get my pencil, I could blend it all out, and it would look great. But the more I blend, the more I add, the richer the color is going to be, the more my darks and my lights are going to contrast, and it's going to make the world of difference. Now I'm bringing Denim Blue. Now if you're using Polychromos, light to medium layers on this particular paper works well. And the same thing, build it up. When you think you're done, add 1 or 2 more layers. And let me know in the comments how you found it. Then back down to my non-photo blue. Right, finally I'm going to take my PC901 and I'm going to go into the darkest places possible. And this is just to create a bit more depth. Now you could use a cool gray, 90%, or one of your darker cool grays in your Polychromos set. You could use a touch of black. Take a blending pencil and I'm going to blend this all together. Now I'm not using a very hard pressure, I'm using about a medium pressure. But because I've put a lot of pigment on the page, I don't need to press too hard. But what I do need is my white pencil, because I have darks, but I don't have very bright light areas. So So I'm going to use my white pencil now to try and lighten things up, and if that's not going to work, I'm just going to use my eraser and lift some of this pigment up. And this is also how I fix my picture. If I've gone too dark with something, I just take an eraser, I lift up some of that pigment, I work with the page until I have it doing what I want. And yes, sometimes I will get it better than others, and sometimes I won't. And that's where I just embrace the journey. I try and embrace my best on each day, and I also try and just be kind and gracious to myself, because this is not about whether it's perfect or not. It's about well-being, mental well-being, just a happy place, safe place, and a creative space. And if I've got too much wax build up on my white pencil, I also just scrape it off. I think what I like about Prismacolors is they are quite forgiving. So when I need to erase something like now, I can just smear the pigment to create my light areas. Whereas with polys, I have to build up a bit more and be a bit more mindful of how I blend. Okay, non-photo blue. Alright, now I'll show you how to use black pencil to just deepen some of the deeper shadows. So if you come along here, very lightly. You don't want to use too much black because that can flatten your page. So I'm just using it in the very depths of the ocean, in the shadows. And as you can see, it just deepens everything up just a little bit. And then you go over the black with your denim blue. And that's going to help prevent it from looking too, it's going to change the black to a dark blue instead of a black. And I'm going to clean up my fish. Okay, and then what we're gonna also do is take the Spectrum Noir Sparkle brush, and we're going to brush this with some glitter. Behind how I do water, I will use probably more Sakura Jelly Roll as I continue with the page, but that will probably be towards the end when I've completed the whole page and I know more about what I want to do. And then if you have any excess that you don't want, you can just use a kneadable eraser. I use the Faber-Castell kneadable eraser. It lasts me years, and I just clean up my pages accordingly. And there you have it. This is how I color water in Rita Berman's book Meine, Reise, Durch, Europa. You can use a similar technique with any of her other books or any other books that have this sort of style of water in them. Do let me know if you would like any other tutorials, and I will happily get working on those for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment below, and if you know anyone who is interested in adult coloring and would find my channel or my videos helpful, please do share my channel or any videos relevant with those people. I do appreciate all the support, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.